Welcome back to Changfied YouTube channel, your trusted source for latest update across South Sudan and beyond. Today we have an important story about health care, peace, and community conflict across the country. South Sudan continues to face major challenges from hospital closure to political tension and even local clashes between communities. In this program, we will cover three key stories that affect the life of millions of people in South Sudan. Before we proceed, please, I would like you to help the channel by subscribing and turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Let's begin our report with rural hospital facing closure. Our first story comes from Juba. According to this report, the Secretary General of the ruling party, SPLM, Dr. Paul Kordit, has sparked debate with comment on rural hospital. Dr. Kordit said that if donor-funded hospital in rural areas close, communities can still rely on traditional medicine. He even shared how he once treated malaria using local herbal remedies near Meridi in western Equatorial State. He said, let the hospital close. This is not a disaster. People survive before and we are resilient. But health experts warn that closing hospital could put mothers and children at serious risk. South Sudan already has one of the highest maternal death rates in the world. The Minister of Health confirmed earlier this year that over 100 health facilities may lose support due to a shortage of international funding. Many of these clinics serve remote areas where the government does not provide medical services. Dr. Kordit also apologized for the suffering caused by the civil war that started in 2013. He called it power struggle within the SPLM leadership and not a fight from reform. According to him, according to Dr. Paul, if South Sudan, according to him, Dr. Kordit said he urged South Sudanese people to remain united to dialogue instead of using violence and emphasize that setbacks are normal, but resilience is key. He says South Sudan will definitely overcome its current challenges. Think about this. What would you do if your local hospital shut down? Would you turn to traditional medicine or find another solution? Share your thought in the comment below. In our next report, we look at the political scene. Many experts and local leaders say peace must come before any election in South Sudan. The SPLMIG held a meeting in Central Equatorial State, chaired by President Dr. James Waniga, to prepare for election in December 2026. But the peace agreement called RRC clearly say that election should only happen after important steps are completed. These steps include security arrangement, a national census, and a permanent constitution and boundary demarcation. Unfortunately, the agreement has already been weakened. First, by President Dr. Machar was placed under house arrest, and representatives from his party, SPLMIO, were removed from the unity government. Experts say this makes election risky. Without peace, election could be unfair or fail entirely. International groups, including the United Nations and African Union, have called for inclusive dialogue and the release of political detainees. The author of the opinion piece, Dun Majogdit Nyukok, stressed that election must not happen while the country is divided. Instead, the government should focus on peace first release political leaders like first by President Dr. Machar and allow fair political competition. Do you think South Sudan should hold election now or wait for peace first? Comment your opinion. Peace is the first step to democracy. Our next story comes from Torit County in eastern Equatoria State. Over the weekend, violence erupted between two communities in Iyala Payam, Trangore and Mura Atia. Sadly, two young people were killed on that incident. The commissioner of Torit, Lokang Charles Italian, called for calm and peaceful dialogue. He stated that communities should resolve conflict without revenge. Paramount Chief Galileo Oide say the violence started when youths from both villages went to a shared grazing land, leading to gunfire. Two young men from Mura Atia died while receiving treatment. The commissioner emphasized that the Torit-Iyala highway is safe for travel and people should not panic or spread false information. He urged everyone to remember that continued violence only deepens suffering, saying we must treat each other as family. If you live in a community with grazing conflict, how do you think this dispute should be solved? Let us know in the comment section below. A traditional spiritual leader known as Spear Master have called for an end to cycle of revenge killing, cattle raiding and road ambush following a 2-day peace conference in Rumbek Lake State. The meeting, organized by the organization POCH and funded by the Swiss Development Corporation and partner in the United Kingdom, brought together about 30 spearmasters from Tony East and Tony South counties in Warab State, and Shuebet and the greater Rumbek area of Lake State. Participants say the gathering aimed to address the root cause of intercommunal violence and promote peaceful coexistence between communities in the two neighboring states. Madang Adel, a spiritual leader from Tony East County in Warab State, say the leader wants communities to live peacefully and pass on a legacy of coexistence to future generations. You cannot marry a wife with stolen cattle. That does not exist in Dinka norm and value, he said. A woman is married with resources earned through hard work. Adele said marriage based on legitimate resources are a sign of stability in the community and urged young people to avoid cattle theft and violence. Machadol, a spiritual leader in Rumbek, said the appointment of the new Lake State Governor, Madang Majok Main, offered an opportunity to strengthen peace. We want peace between Warab and Lake State, he said, urging the new governor to build on the work of former Governor Rin Twin Mabor. Twin Ayech, a spiritual leader from the Go community of Shuebet County, said the spearmasters were mobilized from several communities, including Rek, Luaijang, Gok, and Agar, to help restore stability across the Bargazar region. We do not want anyone to start conflict with another. He said anyone who would trigger violence will face consequences. He added that the spiritual leader would travel across communities in Lagos State and Warab State to spread message of peaceful coexistence. John Mayik, a peace-building manager with Torch, said the conference aimed to involve spearmasters in peace efforts because of their influence in the community. Spearmasters are sometimes believed to be part of the conflict because they bless fighters before raid and may receive cattle as a reward. He said, we believe involving them can also help resolve conflict so communities can live in peace. Mayik said the leader agreed to conduct joint visit and a traditional ritual in areas affected by violence, including Tony East, Tony South, Shuebet, and Rumbek North. Daniel Atkon, the state coordinator of the Community Empowerment for Progress organization, said discussion during the conference show widespread fatigue with ongoing conflict. The spiritual leader have condemned revenge killing and cattle raiding and are calling for peace in Greater Barghazal, particularly in Lake and Warab State, he said. Stephen Matiang Deng, Lake State Minister for Cabinet Affairs, said the conference brought together spiritual leaders as part of broader community leadership effort to address insecurity. Some spear masters were previously involved in encouraging youth during conflict, he said. Now they are being engaged as partners in promoting peace. He said the state governor, under Governor Madang Majok Min, would work with the spiritual leader and partner to strengthen peaceful coexistence between the two states. If you are new to Changfied YouTube channel, I would like you to help the channel by subscribing and turn on the notification bell, so whenever we have a new update, you can be notified. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.